The LA Clippers had high hopes of winning the NBA championship this season with the acquisitions of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Even though they fell severely short of obtaining that goal, they refused to be pushed to the back of the line. They're going to make sure that everyone is going to talk about them until the start of next season. Yes, they fired their head coach, Doc Rivers, and now they've hired a new one. We all know the Clippers must make a splash this summer because they're not going to let people forget that they are another driving force in LA. The question that has many scratching their heads out there as to whether or not they hired the right coach to lead the LA Clippers to a championship. Let's talk about it right after the jump. Welcome back to Tomorrow Leader Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Also, you can follow us on social media. The links are listed down below in the description. There were several coaches that applied for the LA Clippers head coaching job, but the Clippers went with the sexy pick like usual. Yes, they chose Tyronne Lue. Tyronne Lue was one of the assistant coaches that was on Doc Rivers' staff this past season when the LA Clippers had that catastrophic meltdown against the Denver Nuggets in the NBA Western Conference semifinals, where they were up 3-1 and ended up losing the series to the Denver Nuggets 4-3. Everyone talked about how the LA Clippers was the favorite to win the NBA championship, only to watch it go up in smoke. Yeah, guys, we already know from looking at this team on paper, you will sit back and think that they were the best thing since sliced bread. But you know what? You can't win games on paper. I don't know how many times that has to be said. You got to get out on the court or on the field or whatever it is, for whichever sport it is that you play, produce and make it happen. And the Clippers just didn't do that. But what has me a little bothered is the fact that the LA Clippers chose an assistant coach that was on the staff with Doc Rivers, who also had the ability as well as the opportunity to hopefully right the ship with those players and get them out there on the floor and play in the manner in which they're supposed to for them to possibly win the NBA championship this year. And they didn't. Everyone wants to talk about how Doc Rivers lost. Doc Rivers, once again, was up 3-1 in a playoff series and lost the series that cost the Clippers their opportunity to win the championship. But guys, Tyronne Lue was on that staff, right? Sam Cassell was on that staff, right? Isn't the job as assistant coaches? Aren't the assistant coaches supposed to assist? What type of assistant were we doing if your team got so discombobulated on the task at hand and was unable to complete the task, which was win the championship? You're up 3-1. You had 3 opportunities to close out the deal, and you couldn't close out the deal. I mean, looking at the videos of the games that was played, missing shots that's 10 feet, 10 feet away. Come on, guys. That's not coaching. That's choking. Call a spade. That is not coaching. That's choking. Flat out. Abysmal P, Kawhi Leonard, y'all couldn't hit shots. When you got Kawhi Leonard 2 feet away from the rim and you clank the shot off the side of the rim and you turn around holding your hand up, you hold your club like, you're not getting no call for that, man. When nobody touched you, you missed the shot. But I'm gonna get off of that. Let me get back to what's going on with all this here. But guys, like I said, there's nowhere in the world you're gonna get me to believe Doc Rivers made all of the personnel changes as well as the plays that was called on the floor, the defensive switches, so on and so forth, for this team to just flat out just flat out blow it. There's no way in the world you're going to get me to believe that the assistant coaches didn't have anything to do with any of that. Normally, when something of that magnitude happens with a coaching staff, not only is the head coach gone, all of the coaching staff is gone. This is why I say this is a bad choice for head coach. I understand Mr. Ballmer has a lot of money involved in everything that's going on right now because, for one, if Kawhi Leonard decides he wants to leave next season, guess what? Steve Ballmer has nothing. He loses on that. Not to mention, he's getting a new stadium. The Forum in Inglewood is being remodeled. That is going to be the home of the LA Clippers once that stadium is complete. And I believe it's supposed to be completed in 2022. That construction should be completed with them. So if all of that is going on, this man is looking to win now. He's not looking for excuses, and I get it because he's kicking out a lot of coin over there for Jerry West to be a consultant. You got the analytics folks looking at a team on paper and saying this team should win a championship. Analytics is not going to help you win no championship either, especially when you got players that can't hit shots that's 2 to 5, anywhere from 2 to 5 feet away. I'm sorry. And Abysmal P throwing 3-pointers off the side of the backboard. That I really would love to see the plus and minus for that one. But I'm going to continue on. The Clippers, listen, the Clippers got to get out of the Clippers must get out of the business of we must beat LeBron James and the LA Lakers. Guys, y'all need to understand one thing. You got teams that are loading up for this season. You got the Golden State Warriors that's coming back. You got daggone Denver Nuggets that's got your number. They're looking to come out there and chump y'all off every time they play y'all because, trust me, half of the team that should have been there with them in the bubble wasn't there. Y'all lost to a partial Denver Nuggets team. So guess what? You better strap in and get ready because it's going to get uglier next season. And not to mention, as far as revamping the team, yes, they're talking about making some changes with the Clippers team. There's been a bunch of talks about Paul George being traded somewhere else so that they can get additional assets as well as pay some of these free agents that they have because right now the team is cash strapped. So now compound that on top of the team, the structure of the team, a change got to happen. I get you let Doc Rivers go, but I honestly feel Doc Rivers should have been given another chance because of the fact that Doc Rivers did not have the whole team playing for him last season. You got Paul George out with shoulder surgery. You had Kawhi Leonard still load managing. You had other players that was hurt. You didn't have a complete you didn't have your starters on the court together to gel. So, yes, he should have been given another chance. Not to mention, if you're going to hire his assistant coach, yes, I understand his assistant coach. He coached LeBron James. Again, we want to go with the sexy pick. The sexy pick sounds good and it looks good, but will it produce? I don't think so. Coach Lou without LeBron James is like Kool-Aid without sugar. I'm just being honest with you. Mr. Ballmer wants to win now, and I understand that because, like I said, you have so much money invested in this organization, and you're looking to bring a championship to your organization so that you can go ahead and start recouping a boatload of that money because now you think everyone is going to want to come watch the Clippers play. This hiring shows that the LA Clippers organization is just as abysmal as Playoff P and will continue to be the other team in LA with an owner that loves to be the rah-rah guy, but you have no leader on the floor and you don't have no leader in the locker room. But until next time, guys, if you like the content, please like, share, subscribe. Also, you can follow us on social media. The links are listed down below in the description. And remember, guys, be that one and lead.